I most disturbed 5 days of my life. My email program was bombed. And what does that mean? It means 10,000 letters from Mexico nonstop. And apparently, the way it works is my server in Israel thought they were mails, and they could not prevent this. And these 5 days, it happened on a Friday, and boy, computer repairmen on a Saturday are rare. I got lucky. I found a really, really good one. And it only was 5 days of... Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, let me finish this. It's an intro. I had the worst 5 days of my life. They didn't think they could restore my files. In hour 2, we will get to that. Right now, Nancy Nieder, an old friend, thank goodness you're here. Take some of the... As I said, I don't have the ability anymore until this is all fixed to use my Skype, to use my printer. I don't even know how my keyboard works. But here I am. Nancy, how are you?
Pretty good, thank you, Barry.
That was the
what was that?
Stay with me, Nancy. I'm doing this by phone. I no longer have any technology. I had to buy a new computer. And, oh, gosh. In hour 2, I will explain my distress. Nancy Nieder, up there in Washington, runs, I guess it's a service to exchange money. But in her time, she's come up with observations. Nancy, what are your observations? I think you were going to be talking Trump. Of course, without a printer, I'm winging the whole show, okay?
Okay. I don't want to start with Trump because there's something going on that no one is paying much attention to, which I'd like to mention first, and then, excuse me, it'll tie into Trump. The cashless society is practically here. They have something called blockchain that is invading every single area of our system. Not just the monetary system, but every single thing that you can think about. And we're going to be tied together in every area of our life, including if you have any smart appliances at your house, anything like that, it's all going to be tied together. There was a meeting back, I've got it here, I had to get it out for you. Prophecy contest, this was back in 2008, a gold conference where a fellow by the name of Ben Steele, S-T-E-I-L, was one of the chief presenters. He is a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, and the thing that he is putting together is the end of national currency. You can look him up, people can look him up, and they'll find that that's what he's talking about, and we're going into a cashless society backed by precious metals. The second thing...
Hold on there. Don't get... My poor listeners don't understand what you're talking about. So let's start with... It sounds like we've already got one. Aren't we on a gold?
Not backed by gold yet, but that's coming.
So what is the currency of America? You're saying it's going to be no good. What is backing it?
Debt.
What is supposed to be backing it?
Well, it would be nice if it was something tangible, but what is happening, it's two things that are happening. It's going to be digital. This is the point of the whole thing. People are being conditioned and have been conditioned for quite some time to accept payments by little cards that you use and all that. And now the next thing is biometrics. And they're even talking, there was an article that was out today, actually, I posted it today, and it's MasterCard and Visa saying that you can make a payment using a part of your body, and it's no longer fiction. These are exciting days in the world, it says, and I have it posted on my website today. So this is what's coming. It's called the Mark of the Beast. We've heard that before.
Well, that's a tattoo. Now, first of all, biometrics...
It may or may not be a tattoo. Who knows what it's going to be, but they're using a system like that, and it's tied to everything, your medical, your library card, your car, you name it. It's all coming together under this blockchain system, okay? The second thing that's happening is the phenomena of a bad monetary system that's probably going to crash that will lead to guaranteed income. And there are little things that are starting with that all over the world.
And
the latest thing was in Switzerland just this week where they had a vote. It didn't pass right away, but the vote is a guaranteed income for everybody, $2,600, the equivalent of $2,600 a month.
Now,
plus, then you can make your other money over it.
Nancy, did you hear me? You've got to
just about.
You've got... Really? Okay, I'm doing my best. I'm doing it by phone, as I explained before. Guaranteed income, what's bad about that? It sounds actually like a good deal.
Yeah, people are being conditioned to that. Why do you think Bernie Sanders and all those people are so popular now, okay? Yeah, it's a guaranteed income. It's been touted for many years by libertarians, actually. One of the first people who was interested in something like this was, believe it or not, Richard Nixon. He tried to push this in the 70s under a different name. But it's a minimum base. The libertarians like the idea because it gets rid of TANF, which is welfare, and food stamps, and that kind of stuff, and sticks them all under one umbrella, so it's cheaper to run. But even if you have a lot of money, you're going to get this guaranteed income because it's tax-free.
You have to go slower with me. No matter what we're talking about is Tricky Dicky, likes the idea. Actually, libertarian, our guest was supposed to be, but he won't be, the head of the British Libertarian Society. But I didn't have email for 5 days because I was being bombed, so we weren't in touch. He'll be next week, by the way, the head of the British Libertarian Society.
I'll ask him about it.
I would have. We're winging this show, but all in all, I will keep that in mind for next week. All in all, it sounds pretty good. The only bad
but then what it is listen to me now. What it is then you belong to the system. Several years ago, actually back in 1994, I think it was, there was an article that came out in the Economist magazine, which is a mouthpiece for the New World Order. And one of the things they were proposing was a global resource bank. And everybody in the world is a shareholder. And everybody has access to this bank. And the bank's access are actually, if you read the whole thing carefully, you become an asset of the bank. Okay? And you're given a guaranteed income with this whole global resource bank worldwide.
Now,
what you are is a slave, a cog in the machinery.
I get your point of view now. You've got to go slow here. You're saying that if you're from Pakistan, you get $2,600 a month guaranteed.
No, I didn't say they were going to get the same amount of money because I don't know how it's going to work. I do know that if you take a look at people who are already involved, in these new systems, they went after the third world countries first. In the article that I put up today, we have for biometric payments, Nigeria is captured by the government and centralized, enabling banks to verify the customer's identity. They have 80,000 biometric ATMs in Japan. Citibank has ATMs in Singapore. I mean, they're all over the world. It's only just coming in the United States.
What's a biometric ATM? You stick your ass.
You use your finger or something like that to identify yourself.
I've never seen one so far, but
well, you're not here. We don't have them here. They're coming here.
Okay. And the advantages to who?
The advantages to the New World Order people, because we are completely controlled by all of this entire system. You become a slave with absolutely no freedom and nothing that you can do on your own. You're part of the system. They own you.
All right. And once again, is that worse than, what most of my... Listen, Nigeria is in the midst of a civil war. Their women are being kidnapped and they're being sold into slaves.
That's correct. But what I'm pointing out something else. This is a system that is going to be put in worldwide, where the New World Order people control every single person in the world that's under the system, including you and me, if we care to join it.
What about once again, you have a civil war in Nigeria. It's apparently, if you're a woman, you don't want to be part of this civil war. Now, what you're describing, is it worse? I mean, really, okay, how the New World Order finds they control you. What's the difference if you have no control anyways?
I am just pointing something out. It's not just Nigeria where this is going to happen. I'm just saying to you that they started putting these systems in the third world countries where they think you can't put them in. They're already in there. We in the West are far behind this because we're harder to sell on something like that. These people will accept all of that because they are going through such a hard time. That's what I've been talking about.
I think civil war is a pretty nasty time.
It is?
You're talking about a system, a financial system that ties people by their fingernails to the New World Order.
It's not just financial, though, Barry. It's going to be every aspect of your life. Every single aspect of your life. You need to understand that. If you had your computer, when you get it up, I will send you some of this information, and then you'll be able to see it a little bit better.
It's been up for 3 hours now.
Oh, it has. Good, I'm glad.
I'm working it. It's the New World Order for me as well. And by the way, as for control, whoever, I think they're out of control, computer-wise, let me tell you. You know what, the guy who, he's in Virginia prison now. He was the guy who hacked Hillary Clinton. Did you see the interview with him this week?
No. Oh. I don't have television, Barry.
All right, well, you'll have to go to Virginia then and meet him. What he said was...
Yeah, I got rid of television when O.J. Simpson started riding around in his white Bronco. I figured that was enough mind control for me. I don't like that kind of stuff. Anyway, I wanted to bring this out because this system...
Nancy, stop it. You have to let me get... The punchline was he was asked what he discovered that made him be extradited to the States, and he said that Hillary Clinton is a part of the Illuminati. and he didn't know this before, and he knows it now through her emails. What is on the program that he downloaded apparently is a very, very scary. Who knows what an Illuminati is? But
is it going to come out?
It did come out.
Is he going to be able to release this stuff?
He's sitting. He doesn't want to be there. He's from Romania. Now, the fact of the matter is, he justified downloading Hillary Clinton with the discovery that there's a cabal running this election, and it's run by something called the Illuminati. This was on NBC this week.
Well, I'll have to check that out. I will do that this evening. I believe that because I think the entire election, both sides of the aisle, are controlled, and I believe that Mr. Trump has been anointed to be the next president, not Hillary. And I believe that all along for specific reasons, which I'll get into in a while. But, yeah, absolutely.
If this comes out, she's sitting on a powder keg here. This is...
Well, she's been on a powder keg for a long time with her whole life. I mean, that's a disgusting person, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but we're talking facts here. There's something sitting in Virginia, and somehow this interview got... I don't know how they did it, but the fact of the matter is, if any of this is true, and the emails are true, what do you think he was extradited for? She's sitting on...
Well, it has to hit the public, or somebody's got a prosecutor, and so far they've been messing around with this prosecution, and it hasn't quite happened yet. But the principles, I don't know about Bernie. I don't have enough information about Bernie. But I do know that both Cruz and Trump are Masons, okay, and tied into this charade together. And we can get into some of that because this is what's going on. And it will lead to, believe me, it will lead to this cashless, universal bank scenario that I was trying to talk about sooner than people can think about it. It's been in the works now for the last 10 years. And they're starting to get their act together.
Saunders by default could be...
I can't hear you.
Saunders by default could be the candidate in the election if any of this stuff is really, really released. Doesn't matter what the voters think. By default, he'll be running for president.
Well, I think that, he probably will, but I think Trump's been anointed, like I said, and I don't think they're going to allow anything to happen to Hillary until they know Trump can get in there. And I'll tell you why in just a minute, and I think Israel is the key to this, you see.
I'm listening. By the way...
All right. They had... Huh?
We're about to take a 3-minute break. So
okay.
That point really fast, and it'll be the main point for after the commercials. We'll start with that. What do you mean Israel's the key? What are you talking about?
Well, they had something called the Baal Arch that was supposed to come into New York, but went to Trafalgar Fair in London. Remember? Did you hear about that?
All right, it's an arch. What's so special about it?
It's the day that it was they decided to put that thing out. It's a satanic thing. You've heard about the Baal. It's in the Bible. It's evil. Okay, Baal is what the name of it is. And they decided to put that thing up on the 19th of April, which is a high witchcraft day. And when they put the thing up in London, they bathed the whole thing in a red light. It was supposed to go into New York City as well, but that's been postponed until September. And I don't have the date on that yet.
Once again, I don't see how that has anything whatsoever to do
I'll tell you what it has to do with it, because it's a picture of the Royal Arch degree in Freemasonry. Now, I don't know how much time I have to talk about this, but...
You'll leave in a second. Go to it.
Okay. The Royal Arch degree is connected to Zerubbabel's second temple and the Levitical priesthood. There's a ritual that they do, which is called the 3 times 3 at this particular thing, and it forms something called the trifecta, which looks like the arches, 3 arches on top of each other. It's quite satanic, believe me.
Well, I know it's trifectas if you get 3 horses and they all come in.
Yeah, I know. It's 3 anything. Try. But this is what I'm trying to explain to you. It's tied to Freemasonry, and when I saw this happening and listened to Trump, he said long before he met with AIPAC that as soon as he got into the White House, he was going to move our embassy to Jerusalem. He's made that statement lots of times.
Okay.
And I got very interested in Mr. Trump for that reason, because, of course, I support that, and that kind of thing. But then I started looking into what these other things mean as well. That's why I think Mr. Trump's going to get in. He is definitely pushing this. He had sent a message to Mr. Netanyahu and said to continue to build in Jerusalem. I'm sure you read all that too, haven't you?
I don't take this election seriously. I say that quite openly with you. I really am not taking this as a democratic choosing of a leader, okay?
It's not a choosing of a leader. It's been already chosen for us. This whole thing that we've gone through, to me, is like a play, or a reality game, or whatever the heck it is. With all of these people, the same thing. Cruz, they going on and still sticking his mouth into the thing, and all of that. But that guy's a Mason too. He's tied to the Mormons. Glenn Beck stood there, and when he was announcing his support for Mr. Cruz, using Masonic terms like we're going to square the circle and all this kind of stuff. I mean, it's all Masonic key words, all of it.
All right.
Donald Trump sits there, the way he holds his hands is another Masonic sign. All of these things together show you who they are and that the thing was planned out. And Hillary's just sitting there to keep everything interesting. She's not going to get in.
Whatever she meant by Mormon, we're not standing by it. Okay, look, Joel is very much a Mormon, but he's also a very good friend. And whatever you're talking about, I don't think he's involved with.
The Mormons were begun by Masons. Most of their rituals in their temple are Masonic. Didn't you know that?
Hold on, we have a break now. Oh, gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do after the break, but I'll say, no, I didn't. And we'll start with that. Nancy, you're very energetic, and I have to be sensitive, too. Okay, start with that. All right, I'll see you in 3 minutes. You plug yourself, and I'll plug me in.
Since the beginning of time, kings have sought it, nations have fought for it. It has been traded, it has been borrowed, it has been purchased, it has been stolen. There's a reason for it. To secure the blessings of liberty, to ourselves and to our posterity. Invest with the security of gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188 or visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. Listen to Financial Survival with your host, Melody Cedarstrom, right here on FirstAmendmentRadio.com at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net or call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free, 1-800-375-4188.
The book of Revelation says, the spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ. This is at the very heart of FirstAmendmentRadio.com. In that spirit, we have created the Prophecy Reality News app for all of your mobile devices, streaming First Amendment Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available for your Apple, Android device, and smartphone, absolutely free. Get the Prophecy Reality News app installed today, so you can listen to First Amendment Radio wherever you are. The Prophecy Reality News app. Get it now.
Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. That's crosstheborder.org.
I know you all want answers, and believe me, so do I, and I'll do my best to get them.
Despite Nicolas Cage's promise to do his best to get left behind rapture answers for us, don't hold your breath. Not everyone believes Left Behind is true prophecy. Some may even regard as conspiratorial the mainstream re-release of the Left Behind movie with actor Nicolas Cage portraying the main character as an attempt to further reinforce in the minds of all this perception of false prophecy in order to condition the masses for the play about to begin. If you want true Bible prophecy answers, get the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. The author exposes the Latin rapture origin, the 7-year tribulation deception, true Bible revelation of Daniel's 70 weeks, the abomination of desolation, the restrainer, America in the Revelation, the image of the beast and the mark of the beast, and the truth about God's chosen people, and so much more about Bible prophecy. This book will shatter the Left Behind paradigm of future events. Get the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. That's crosstheborder.org.
Folks, that was an energetic
You're breaking up.
books at lulu.com. You go to www.lulu.com. There's a search box right in my last name, Chamish, Chamish, and you'll get to my books. And I should add, I don't know where this website of mine is going. Like, I don't have enough problems in my life right now, but it's still up there, barrychamish.com. All right, your turn, Nancy. Plug yourself.
Okay. Yes. We have a website, too, which has all kinds of information on it, a lot of financial, plus conspiracy, plus you name it. Whatever it interests me, I put it on there. It's Pacific Rim Coins, COINS.com. And we sell gold and silver, but we also give out a lot of information. The information that I have listed today on there This is May 10th. Is quite extensive. I usually list twice a day. But read the article on the what's happening with the gold and the biometric payments. You have to understand this, and you have to read the whole article. I'll email this to you later, Barry. I didn't know your thing was up, and you'll be able to read it.
Please, I'm sitting. I went through 5 days of hell. All right, my whole career, they couldn't transfer my files because Windows no longer supports Eudora, and Windows XL is no longer supported by Microsoft. All my life was going, and this was backed up stuff. All my life was going to hell, and wow.
What do you have to do? Transfer it over to a different system, or what?
And that's what somehow they did. They were miracle workers. I have a new computer. I have none of the accessories. I'll learn it. I had to learn it, but God almighty, did I have a bad 5 days. Now let's go to Trump. All right, forget Mormons.
All right, on the same day that they put this arch up, okay, the very same day they put the arch up, the Shanghai gold system that was April 19th opened up in China, the new trading platform they have. I happen to think that a lot of these things are tied together for the long run. I also found an interesting thing today, which I'll email you later as well, on Mr. Netanyahu, who, and this came from the Panama paper dump that they just put out. Apparently the king of Saudi Arabia donated around $80 million to Netanyahu's re-election campaign. And that was on there.
Why?
How do you like that one?
Why would he donate anything? Forget left, right, or in between. Anything to Israel. Why would he give
I'm going to explain to you why now. We'll get to all this. All of these people are brother Masons. Do you understand? You have to understand who is running the New World Order.
I know.
You know Netanyahu is a Mason. Most of the prime ministers and whoever they are in Israel have been Masons.
All right.
Okay? Mr. Perez is a Mason. Big one.
Paris is Vatican all the way. And
it's all Vatican, and let me tell you some more, all right? I'm not picking on individual Mormons, individual Masons, you know, the little guys that are sitting in the lodge, or individual Catholics either. It's the higher-ups that we have to watch. I myself come from a Masonic background. My father was a Shriner. I was in the Eastern Star, so I am very familiar with all this stuff. And most of the people who are involved in that don't know diddle squat about the things I'm talking about.
Did your father take you to the circus?
Okay. But anyway, that's what I was talking about. So, yes, Mr. Netanyahu became a Mason, was raised as a Mason, that got his third degree, in New York when he was a member of the ambassador to the UN. And one of his sponsors was Henry Kissinger.
Nancy, slow down. When he came to the fore, it was with McCain. It was in Boston. It wasn't in New York. All right? He was hit up major in Boston. And from there, he went on to a grand political career and a dead brother and all kinds of things.
I'm just trying to tell you that, no, I'm telling you the lodge. I'm talking about the lodge. Okay?
Yeah.
This is where he got involved with the lodge. in New York.
He was ambassador, but with Romney, he was put into full action. It was in a group in Boston when he became noticeably tied up to the bad guys.
Well, I understand that, but I wasn't talking about that. I'm talking about when he became a member of the lodge. Okay, that's a little different thing, all right? At any rate, because I know about that. All of these guys, like the King of Jordan and this one and that one, they're all Masons, and they all are Scottish Rite Masons, okay? And so are the Jesuits, most of them, not all of them, but most of them. There's two rites, two particular rites. The Scottish Rite is the one that runs Israel.
The one that runs Israel, if you want to go back to Ben Gurion and who Peres is, comes sadly out of the Vatican. And it was
I understand that. And the Vatican runs Scottish Rite Masonry.
Well,
you have to understand that the tie-in here. You really need to understand the tie-in.
You have to understand the tie-in between Israel and the Holocaust.
I do.
You do?
Oh, sure.
Believe it or not, a publisher in Israel is interested in my ties and my information, but I don't know if I don't think I can download the my proof for the next week or two until I understand this. But we have to go on to the big one, and that's what you promised me. Where's
Mr. Trump? Okay. The reason I got into some of this other stuff is that Mr. Trump is not only a Mason, he is a Knights Templar, okay? And if you look at his home in Trump Tower, his main house in Trump Tower, it's on the 66th floor, which is kind of interesting, and it looks like a temple to Apollo or something, or to the gods. You should Google the thing and look at it. It'll amaze you, okay? It's like looking at the Supreme Court building in Israel, which is a Masonic thing that it was put together by the Rothschilds. Same thing.
That one's got the works. It's got pyramids. That one is an out-and-out symbol of Masonry. That's a beaut.
Yeah.
But folks, read my books on the Supreme Court of Israel. I covered that one as well. All right.
So anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is that these people are all tied together for a specific agenda. I believe that Mr. Trump is going to get elected, and I believe one of the first things he will do is to move the embassy to Jerusalem. And the main reason for that is because they want the temple to be built. There is a book called Born in Blood, which I've had since 1990, and it's written and talks about the Masonic plan for the Temple Mount. And that plan is to have 3 houses of worship on the Temple Mount, the Jewish temple, the Muslim mosque, and a Christian church, which of course will be controlled by Rome.
Well, they basically have that anyways.
Not on the Temple Mount right now. They're going to put that together. This is what they want to do and have free access to the whole thing. And the name of the book is called Born in Blood. Anyone can get it. I've had it for 20 years now. It's called The Lost Secrets of Freemasonry by John Robinson. It's a very interesting little book, and it does tie in the Knights Templar aspect of the Masonic Masonry and, of course, Rome. The Knights Templar and the what?
You know about Robinson's arts, right?
What?
You don't know about Robinson's Arch?
No.
For you to look up afterwards, all right? On the Temple Mount is forget that. Let's go back. Are there any women in this? Is Hillary in some way tied with this? I haven't heard a woman.
Well, her husband's a Mason, but she's just a witch. That one. I mean, actually, they actually practice witchcraft. That bunch.
I'm not sure what that involves. Elizabeth Montgomery.
Nobody would want to know what it involves. Most people don't want to believe that this esoteric stuff is true, but it is true. These people are evil.
Well, I get that feeling as well. The real problem is, especially with my right-wing guests, is they're not seeing it that way. As far as they're concerned, one of theirs is going to run for president, and that's that.
I know it. A lot of people don't want to see past their nose and they don't pay attention to anything except, am I paying my bills or this or that that kind of thing happening. But these things are tied together. There's a fellow from Australia who was a Christian guy, and he was talking about the etymology of the Donald Trump, okay? And it comes from Scottish and Celtic antecedents. One of them is D-U-M-N-O, Dumno, I guess it is, and that means world. And the other one is thou, and that means ruler, okay? And he says Donald Trump is the only one that's called the Donald. So if you put those together, you have the world ruler.
This is
Donald, the world ruler. How about that one?
It's a stretch. All right.
It is a stretch, but it's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Nah. People do this all the time on the show as well. They find a verbal significance where really it's a coincidence. I'm looking more at the fact.
I don't think there's any coincidence.
You don't?
Nope.
All right.
FDR said a long time ago, if it happens in politics, it was planned that way.
Okay. What's that got to do with his name?
Well, it has to do with, it's just another thing. There's I was looking up something on UFOs because the Vatican, you see, I think that's going to come in too pretty soon. The Vatican runs one of the larger, I guess it is, for outer space explorations in the world, and it's located in Arizona. And actually, the Jesuits run it. You know, this great big telescope that they look through all the time. And there have been people who have been there and visited this thing. It's quite sophisticated. And as I said, it's run by Jesuits. And they expect to make contact with people from outer space. They think that there are entities and all that kind of stuff there. The other thing that's tied to the Jesuits and Israel is that thing in CERN, it's called, in Switzerland.
It's a very fast. It makes things go super fast in a circle.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Now,
yes,
the Jesuits are involved with that, and the only country outside of the Europeans who is involved with that is Israel. Look it up.
First of all, how?
They're part of they're the only ones that are allowed to be part of the club that runs that thing. They're all Europeans except for Israel. That's the only one that's not.
And what do they get out of it? Except for testing scientific theories, we hope. We hope that's what they're doing.
Yeah, you hope. I know what you hope. There's another little thing that I found. I was looking for something on the type of things that they do with these UFO machines. And I came across a very interesting name. The guy's name is John G. Trump, Professor John G. Trump of MIT's Electrical Engineering Department.
Related?
He's Donald Trump's uncle.
Okay. That's
and he had a lot to do with anti-gravity and power generating capacity of electrostatic, it says, machines and all this kind of stuff. He wrote a book published in 1933. I tried to find it. It's no longer in print. I'm just going to have to search all over the place for the thing. But it says here, what it does is it controls the sudden changes in the field's direction, rapidly transmitting the new inertial moment to all parts of the craft so that the elastic rebound of its atomic lattice is not distressed to the point of structural fatigue. According to this whole article, which you can find in The Cosmic Conspiracy by Sandeo, it just happened to be in there when I was looking for something else, and you can read this for yourself. This guy, back in the 1930s, this is Donald's uncle, was involved with this research.
Okay.
Well, I just think these things are interesting, don't you, that they're tied together?
As a matter of fact, this is interesting. Either he's got a very, very imaginative family. It's hard to imagine, by the way, this Donald Trump being involved in UFO research, from what I know.
He's not involved in it. His family is tied to it. What I'm trying to show you, Barry, is that these things seem to be tied together for these days that we're approaching fast. He's also of Scottish ancestry, which is very much involved with Freemasonry and also the Rosslyn Chapel and all that kind of stuff that's over there.
Are more involved with their whiskey than Freemasonry, all right? I know from experience as well, there may be a cabal that you can worry about, but the Scottish people, I wouldn't use them as an example of anything. Maybe 0.5% of the Scots are involved with Rosslyn Chapel and Freemasonry and Scottish Rite stuff.
Barry, the Freemasons, the higher-ups of the Freemasons, run a lot of evil. They're the top of the pyramid along with the Vatican. Please. Now, you know that.
I know, but I also know the Scottish people. I married.
Well, I'm part Scottish, but for heaven's sakes, my maiden name is Hughes on my father's side. You know, all this stuff, please.
All right, now let's look at this. By the way, this is very interesting about Hillary. Well, Trump accused her of being a facilitator of her husband's affairs. And she's got this, that's what he accused her. She's got a thing now where she gets a rally together talking about Trump loving his tea, but take away his tea, what do you get?
Mr. Trump was good friends with Hillary and Bill a long time ago, and his daughter is also best friends with Hillary's daughter, Chelsea. So, I wouldn't get too too excited over the fact that there are enemies. I think it's part of the story that they're putting out to everybody.
Listen, the fact that this woman is running, and there's a guy sitting in prison who claims that he uncovered in her emails ties to the Illuminati. There's something weird going on, a lot weirder than most campaigns. All right.
Well, they're all tied to the Illuminati, is what I'm trying to tell you. They're all from the same thing. They all are tied together.
Well,
you have to. That's why I'm trying to tell you a couple of these other little things. You have to kind of take these parts and look at them, and wonder why, if they're such decent people, they're tied together like this.
Oh, you know what? Tell people once again where you can be reached. This is actually very interesting stuff, and you can find Nancy's website at
Pac Rim Bay, Pacific Rim Coins, COINS.com. We're located in Bellingham, Washington. And our telephone number is 800-225-3126. The people who answer the phone are all family. We have no outsiders in our organization.
And I visited you there, and it was a pleasure. And this was when I was living in Vancouver, which I did my best. I just didn't like the place that much. And I moved to America. But what I'm about to say is Nancy is a very, very sincere woman. And a smart one. There, I got it out.
That was nice of you, Barry. By the way, if you're going to come up this way, you can start going fishing again. Bring your fishing rod. I know you like to fish.
We're not short of that in Florida, I want you to know. But neither here nor there, what you're saying about Trump wasn't so bad. You know what? I had expected worse.
No. I support him. Between him and Hillary, please, what's the difference? But I don't think it makes any difference what I say or what you say or anybody else says. He's going to get in. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The polls right now, the shocking thing is, he may not even get past his own party if this keeps up. I'm telling you, it's the weirdest non-campaign. Imagine you've got a crooked woman, but you've got a guy who's defied everybody and his own party to run, and they're heading for a head-on clash. And
he was here. He was just here on Saturday. He was in Linden, where I live, on Saturday.
Oh, listen, Nancy, I wish we had 2 hours. You got your energy up. Look, I'm having Janet. I was supposed to have the Libertarian from England, but I was shut down. Hacking isn't the word. Let's just say.
Now, are you still on the same email? I'll send you some of the stuff so you can read it.
Yeah.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on internet or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, We ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. Then, when you subscribe, we will send you the last quarterly MP3 CD of that program immediately, and continue to do so with each new quarter. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe, so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.